Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting and weekly episodic episode of Truth Chat Fun. I'm your host, Joe Oriani, for the next 25-30 minutes. This podcast runs every week. Comes out on Wednesday morning, usually about midnight. You can get it anywhere you get your podcast from. If you do get it on YouTube, please subscribe. It's free. And put the more likes I get, the more subscriptions I get, the better. You can also get it on Amazon Music. You can get it on Apple Play, or Apple Tunes, Spotify, anywhere else you get stuff from. For those who are new to this, because I know I have some new people, I'm going to explain a couple of things to you as we go forward here. First of all, if you're going to listen to me, understand one thing. I am not politically correct. I never will be. I will never lie to you. If you want to be interviewed or you have a story to tell, go to my website, www.truthchat.fun. Okay, and at that point, there's a place there you can leave a voicemail, you can leave a message, or you can go to my email, Joe Oriani Podcast at yahoo.com, or Oriani Joe 3 on Twitter. Just leave your name, an email address where we can correspond, and what the subject is. The only subject I will not talk about is abortion. I don't have a uterus, so I'm not qualified. And since I'm the only one doing this, I'm not getting no help. Anyway, enough about that, but I want to get on to other things, just so you know that I talk about different things. If I don't have an interview, I get to rant and rave and have some fun that I think is fun. If you take anything personally, I say, you know what? I go to bed at night, I sleep well, I put my head on a pillow, and I'm out like a light. I don't even give it a second thought. Anyway, I'm gonna update just my list of countries that are listening. Because one of the things I do is I do music. In the beginning, I have a song that's called Revolution. Now, I didn't get the song because of title. The music you hear is the music I like. At the end of each episode, I usually put in some kind of different music that I feel is appropriate for this particular one. And today, since we have some new guests, we have United States, United Kingdom, Australia, Taiwan, New Zealand, Russian Federation, Ireland, Spain, Philippines, and Brazil. I will probably put in some nice little Irish music in there somewhere, or maybe some brilliant tunes. I don't know yet. But anyway, I want to tell you about my cruise first before we get into the upside down world of whatever this country is. I arrived on Saturday. We met a couple, Brian and Stacy from Indiana. It was their first cruise. They have grandkids. Brian mentioned he was thinking about going to Florida, moving to Florida. Brian, I will tell you the same thing I told you then. If you're going to come to the free state of Florida, do it sooner rather than later. Stay away from the big major cities if you can. And try not to go on the coast. You can get hit with a hurricane. We're in the middle of Winter Haven, so it's not too bad. But do it soon. No state tax. If your politics are not like the governor's, please don't change Florida. All you people from New York live down here and are still liberally. Go back up there and keep the friggin' world miserable. You don't want your politics down here. But anyway, welcome to Florida if you come. And Brian and Stacy, since it was the first cruise, I knew next day when they were walking around, I asked them what they were looking for. They were looking for a place to eat. I told them food is always on the 15th floor. Go get it. For the 23rd anniversary, Brian was nice enough to take his wife to his show. And if you do want to move to Florida, Brian, my advice to you and Stacy is, I know you have grandkids, but there's such a thing as Zoom. There's such a thing as FaceTime. There's such a thing as Skype. I do that with my grandkids all the time, and my daughters and stepdaughters. I do not go up in the winter, if I can help it, from September to April. You want to come visit me in months? That's great. I'm not coming up there. So, and Christmas down here, I'm still not going. It's too damn cold. Anyway, with that in mind, the next couple we met was actually a very pleasant thing happened. I didn't actually meet them. I was playing Let It Ride, and this couple was sitting next to me, and the wife said to somebody, I always feel safe when there's a veteran around. Now, I have to tell you, that took my breath away because that some of the nicest things anybody said, and I didn't even have my Vietnam vet hat on. I thought felt so good to hear somebody say that without being coached into it. It felt absolutely great. And last night, going to dinner, we met this old couple, two older couples sitting on a couch, and some came up talking about, I forget how the subject was brought up, but it was about the country, and this lady, her husband looked forlorn, and this lady was almost in tears about what's happening to this country. And I actually agree with her. I love this country. I fought for my country. If I had to fight again, I would, if I could. But you know what? This is not the country I knew when I was growing up. It's not the Democratic Party I knew when I was growing up. And sometimes Republicans have these rhinos that are total assholes, but that's just me. Anyway, all right, now on with the show. Oh, I can't forget one of the very important people, Alexandria. She's from Romania, young lady, intelligent, well-spoken. She called me a troublemaker, which is okay. I take that as a compliment. I told her she could call me Mr. Jackass, but she didn't, or Jackass. She did watch one of the things on Facebook and said she liked it. She even liked it, clicked like. So the only problem Alexandria has, actually not her problem, she's a trainer, and she's training this guy from Mozambique. And apparently their cultural differences is that he shouldn't be working for a female. He needs to get over that real quick. He's unhappy. He's having issues, but she'll be fine. She'll do her job. If he don't do his, he'll be dropped off as an export. That's the way that works, she told me. So again, Alexandria, it was really a pleasure meeting you. And I hope you tell your friends to watch, your husband to watch, and they tell 5 more friends to watch, and you get the whole ship to watch. And that'll be great. Every week you have something to look forward to. Some crazy old guy up here talking. Okay. So anyway, with all that said, I'm going to continue on with the show. Okay, I found this on Facebook that I thought was interesting to write. We live in a time where intelligent people are being silenced so that stupid people won't be offended. Perfect example of not being politically correct. What comes out of my mouth sometimes surprises even me. But I have no problem saying it. I don't feel guilty about anything I say. I say it, I meant it. Most people have to think before they talk. And some people have to, even after they think, they say it anyway. Me, I don't think about it, I just say it. So I don't really care if I hurt your lady feelings, you snowflake. Oh, sorry, I digress. Now, speaking of snowflakes, President Biden warned Harvard University graduates on Saturday to fear the rise of the white supremacy is the greatest terrorist threat facing America. I thought it was global warming. It can't be global warming because that's a hoax. Because we had global cooling. Was that a hoax? No. We didn't freeze to death. I don't know. But there's something really wrong with Biden. I think the Joe Biden I remember. He's from the Democratic Party long ago that actually made sense. That it wasn't so far to the left that they believe in mutilating kids, all this stuff. So it's so disgusting. Some of this stuff, if you wrote a novel and wrote some of this stuff in it, you can make a good movie, but nobody goes see it because it'd be sci-fi. All right. The North American Aerospace Defense Command released a statement Saturday saying it had intercepted 6 Russian aircraft operating off the coast of Alaska. In a press release about Thursday's incident, NORAD said it detected, tracked, positively identified, and intercepted 6 Russian aircraft operating in and near the Alaskan air defense. Now, Putin's playing a very dangerous game. He's losing in Ukraine. He's barely hanging on by a thread. I just hope they overthrow him and get rid of that little twerp. And the jets, Russian jets, play tag with American jets. I've seen it happen. one of these times he's just gonna get close to Alaska and something's gonna go wrong. You're in our airspace, you should be blown out of it. Unfortunately, we have Biden as the president and he lets friggin' Chinese balloons fly all over the country and don't blow it up until they get all the information they needed. He still hasn't been on a phone with the Chinese president. What a twerp. He hasn't answered questions about all his money, all these LCDs, LCDs, LTDs, whatever the hell they are. All these other companies he has, 20 of them, all going to different Bidens. They have served no purpose. There's millions of dollars flows through. Where is the IRS when you want them? Of course, the latest thing I heard from somebody was that the Justice Department is not going to do anything. It's totally political over there, and that's the end of that. Hunter Biden, Joe Biden will get away with it. Now, I don't believe in impeachment. I didn't believe in Donald Trump's impeachment. First of all, they had nothing but a fake dossier anyway, and even what they said was all true. I still didn't believe in it. But Joe Biden has enough stuff against him that a real impeachment, and you kick his ass out. The question becomes, who becomes president? And that's my concern. I don't want giggling Carmela giggling all the way to the White House. Ugh. Imagine that. That's a hell of a thing. Chinese president call up and say something to him. Anyway, all right. In a headline that I seen, I'm going to read you the headline. It's upsetting how they're treating Americans. Florida couples' weddings in turmoil as a New York hotel suddenly cancels 30 rooms they booked for the guests to make way for migrants. Now, this particular article said migrants, I call them illegals. They are here illegally. They broke our law. They should have their ass in jail and deported. That's just me. So anyway, the couple were left devastated after Crossroads Hotel in Newburgh, New York, canceled 30 rooms they booked for their wedding guests. The hotel rooms will now be used for migrants, quote unquote, who are being bused to upstate New York to alleviate the pressure in New York City. But New York City's a sanctuary city. What's their problem? The couple claimed that the move could end up costing upwards of $20,000 as they rushed to find alternative accommodation for family and friends. Now, you know what? I think it's funny. Texas is not a sanctuary state nor a sanctuary city. Neither is Florida. Neither is Arizona. So these people come into them places illegally. The governor said enough is enough. Many people, enough. We're shipping from New York. We're shipping from here. We're shipping from there. Shipping to Chicago. Another one. But they're shipping them to sanctuary cities. The mayor of Chicago, the mayor of New York said, bring them here. We don't mind if you come here. We'll take care of you. Well, now they get busloads and they're freaking out. How's it feel? Two-faced bastards. Oh, anyway. All right. Nearly been 2 weeks since Daniel Penny was recorded killing Jordan Neely on a New York subway with a minutes-long chokehold. The 24-year-old Marine veteran has faced calls to his arrest, being denounced as a vigilante by the activists, and has been labeled a murderer by Democratic Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She's got to go. Doesn't even wrote a single bill, I don't think. But you know what? These people in New York complain, people in Chicago complain, and they keep voting the same people in. I don't get it. How can you do that? They get a person in Chicago who's worse than a person before them. You can't complain about stuff if you keep asking for it. Oh, you're glutton for punishment. Okay, so anyway, but in a lead up to the Manhattan District Attorney's Office charging him with second-degree manslaughter, Penny has found a groundswell of financial and online support from high-profile Republicans such as Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, Fox News personality, and conservatives on Twitter. Many of them have rallied around Penny and hailed the veteran as a hero and a good Samaritan. We stand with a good Samaritan like Daniel Penny, DeSantis tweeted Friday night. Let's show this Marine how America got his back. Marine who stepped in to protect others is a hero, tweeted Representative Marjorie Greene, Republican, Georgia. The Legal Defense Fund set up by Penny's attorneys, hosted fundraisers for the defendants in January 6, 2001, has raised more than $1 million on Saturday afternoon. Most of the money comes from anonymous donors thanking him for what he did and agreeing with his lawyers. Statement that Penny never intended to harm Neely, 30. Okay, let's talk about this one for a minute. First of all, the guy is on the subway. Bunch of people there. You have some lunatic who should be locked in an insane asylum, been arrested 40 times. His family now claiming he's safe. Where were they trying to help him? He's harassing people, saying, you don't care if he goes back to jail, he would kill, blah, 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 blah. That would make me a little nervous. So there comes a guy, he steps up, along with a couple other passengers, by the way, they're not mentioning that. He puts him in a chokehold just to try to calm him down and get rid of him and make him stop threatening people. Unfortunately, the chokehold was a little longer than anticipated. He didn't die there, he died on his way to the hospital or at the hospital. So I would question whether he killed him or not. But that being said, there were other people. I would want somebody to have my back or for them to help me in a situation like that. If some nutcase was attacking me or my family or my friends. So I think he's a hero too. And I think he's just going to wind up getting accused of nothing. He's going to be released on self-defense. It has to be. More can't be that screwed up. Okay. Attorney General Ashley Moody and Ken Paxton have stepped up to the plate to take action on ever-growing Biden border crisis they allege is being perpetrated by the current administration and ignored by the mainstream media. Now that's a fact, Jack. You don't see nothing on any other news channels. The media has dropped the ball in so many issues critical to the security of this nation, including those pouring into our country, Moody said. Now, they just picked up a terrorist that was on, someone who was on an anti-terrorist list that was trying to mingle in with the people coming across. So how many terrorists does it take to blow up a building? One. How many terrorists are there here now? Who the hell knows? How many criminals? Most of the other countries emptied out their jails and sent us all the people. So I do keep my gun handy and I make sure it's available. Oh, anyway, it's absolutely true. Joe Biden has no clue. He said today, oh, it's going better than you guys expected, talking to the press. And Kamala, did I call her Kamala before? Kamala. She says, oh, things are going good at the border. Okay. You can't tell me what I see is not what I see when I see what I see, what I see. I'm sorry. Anyway, what a bunch of losers. Who voted for these people? Who would want to reelect them? All right, Japan has warned that China and Russia have increased military cooperation in a bid to disrupt the current world order in Asia and beyond. The Foreign Affairs Minister of Japan warned over the weekend that Russia's invasion of Ukraine has shaken the very foundation of international order, which is true, and that the world should unite in support of Ukraine. But he also argued that China's cooperation with Russia opens the door to similar challenges in other regions and threatens the existing order, which has underpinned our peace and prosperity and could fundamentally be overturned, according to a report from military.com. And that is very true. I think in World War II, they had an axis of evil, and now you're going to have China, Russia, Iran, Syria, and I don't know who else we pissed off. Oh, Venezuela. Joe Biden doesn't reach out to anybody south of the border. He doesn't. Matter of fact, he doesn't reach out to allies in the Middle East. They're deserting us. Kind of brokered the deal between Iran and Syria. Give me a break. between Iran and Saudi Arabia. Give me a break with that one, will you? Okay, in the lighter news, to end this little conversation we're having here, first of all, I want to tell you this one actually struck home. Adolfo, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, serves as Italy's interior industry minister, conducted the crisis talks as the price of pasta has skyrocketed to 17.5% over the past year through March. The rate of inflation in Italy is 8.1. The average cost of pasta has surpassed $2.20 per kilogram in Italy, where approximately 60% of the population eat it every day, according to the Washington Post. Not that I believe anything they say. So here we are, we have a pasta crisis. You think Ronzoni can help out on Mullers? Send Italy some food. They don't want to run out of pasta and make some cranky Italians. That I know for a fact. Anyway, I want to thank everybody here for listening who's on today. And hopefully you'll share your thoughts on the website. Just leave a message and I will get back to you as soon as I can. And maybe if you want to talk to me on Zoom, we can do a Zoom meeting and talk about whatever you like to talk about. And I can post it. But there's one more thing I want to put on there. And I'm going to see, well, I'm going to try to get in later. There's a little video of Joe Biden just being his asshole self. But anyway, be safe, be good. Vote with your heart and vote with the love of your country. And remember this, and I say this every week, and it's very true. If you are not laughing, you are not living. So I want everybody to have a nice day, and I'll talk to you soon. Wait.